Good morning. Test, test. Am I on? Good? One more time. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome. I am so glad to be home. This is my space. You are my spiritual family. I go out on the road. I speak in a lot of different venues. I teach in a lot of different spaces and places, sometimes in corporate, sometimes in places that don't quite speak our language. You know what I'm talking about? So today I get to take the handcuffs off, let it rip with you all. Good? I've been waiting. Sometimes when I come to Inner Light and I speak, I'm a little bit like, finally, I just get to speak the truth without translating and shifting and being something different. Good? Couldn't hear you. Is that good? I like dynamic exchange, otherwise I feel like I'm up here alone. I don't want to be up here alone. I want to be with you in this, okay? So you can feel free to hoot and holler and sound off and do whatever you need to do so that we're in relationship, so that we're together in this. Whoop, whoop. So I have a couple of updates from you. I have an update from the cancer front and from the front, the spiritual transformational front. The cancer front, last time I was here on pulpit was the first time that we went public, me and my wife, with the fact that she had cancer. And I wanted to update you all on what has happened since then. My wife, Karina, has got her operation. The margins are totally clear, and we are cancer-free. And amen. And we got a lot of prayers and support and energetic support from this community, so thank you all. It was just a beautiful experience to go through and to be held in community. Extraordinary. And from the spiritual front, from the take this consciousness and multiply it front, I really feel like the principles that we stand on here at Inner Light Ministries, the tools that we work with here at Inner Light Ministries, I get to take out into the world. And so I kind of feel like I get to come back to you all and share what has it been like out there on the front using these tools. Good? Yeah. So many of my clients are very high-end entrepreneurs or business leaders, executives. Some of the entrepreneurs are investing upwards of $3 billion. That's a lot of money. And it's a lot of money that we're bringing to Inner Light soon. And, yes, I know. And these folks have the charter, they have the capacity to invest that money in things that are green, that support the environment, in social causes, and the work that I do with them as they spiritually evolve, as they open their hearts, they don't just care about me and mine anymore. Like there's an expansion of who we care about. You with me here? That as we do our inner spiritual and emotional work, the capacity to care about a larger group and have a larger impact increases. So the decisions on where they invest that $3 billion plus shifts. And we can reforest an entire continent. We can bring social change to an entire region instead of just a small area. Sound good? And I want to tell you all the stuff that we learn here, I incorporate with them. So at the beginning and end of our sessions together, I'm praying us in and I'm praying us out. I don't necessarily call it prayer. But it's happening. It's happening. They get their Enneagram personality type and how their ego is disturbing things, and we go deep into working on that, and they do shadow work. I mean, you should see the stuff that these guys do. Many of them old, rich men. And I get to open them up. So, yeah, it's... So today we get to talk about independence. our Independence Day. And, when people talk about the Independence Day and the 4th of July and what comes up, there's a lot of people who have a real soft spot for the United States of America. I have friends who say, Ben, when I see Old Glory, when I see the flag flying, there's something inside of me that feels opened, softened, proud. That was not me. Seriously, I grew up with a lot of judgment of the United States. I mean, honestly, I was sitting in judgment of our schooling system, that it was just teaching to tests, that we weren't teaching kids to be open and creative and vibrant and alive. I was in judgment of our government. I sat in judgment of our healthcare system, that we didn't bring healthcare to all. I was in a lot of judgment of the United States. And some of that still continues. Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. Some of you have judgments. Yeah. I mean, some of this stuff gets really wound up into our system and kind of moves with us through time. And so we went on a vacation recently. And in this vacation, we went through 3 countries, and it was supposed to be 10 days, 3 countries, whirlwind vacation. We were rocking and rolling. So we get on the plane, we head over, we land in Scotland immediately. Jordan, my 7-year-old daughter here, gets, woohoo, yay. First time Jordan has actually been here to see me on pulpit, so that's kind of exciting. Welcome to the big kids bench, Jordan. Jordan gets sick, she goes down immediately. Fever, cold. We're in Scotland, we can't leave the hotel room for 2 days. Next country. On to Spain. So we're in Spain, we're in Madrid. It's time for us to get on the train to go to Sevilla. And we go into the train station, and there's no markings of where the train's supposed to be or what's going on. And we're looking around, and finally we see a huge board that has all the cities that all the trains go to, and a couple of undecipherable numbers beside them, and then another column with like 2 little numbers way at the top. And we're like, where do we go? There's 16 train stations, and we have no idea how to decipher this board. We know this much Spanish. The people who we were talking to knew this much English. It was like, what do we do? And finally it gets clear, the numbers will appear up there as the trains get closer. So you'll know which station to go to because it'll appear. And we got this information from a man that I think of as Lars. I don't know why I named him Lars, but that's what I named him. And the man, Lars, was telling us this is what's happening. He's from Barcelona. Lars is from Barcelona. And we're like, Lars, when are we going to know? It's 10 minutes. The number has not appeared beside the thing. Now it's 5 minutes. We still don't know. There's like 120 people all looking up at the thing. 2 minutes until the train arrives. No number. We go, Lars, this is ridiculous. And Lars goes, oh yeah, this is crazy. Absolutely insane. Finally, the thing pops up. We're on we're on station number 9, 2 minutes before. 80 people run towards track number 9. There's 80 people heading towards. Track number 9, you have to go through a doorway about this big with a little old woman taking tickets very slowly to get us through to our train. And they have not had training in how to stay in line. There's no, Disneyland thing happening. So it's just like a stampede. And we're like overpacked Americans. I've got 3 suitcases. Jordan's trailing behind us. Come on, we got to go. And we're all trying to jam through this thing. And apparently anybody who comes from the side has right away because we all stop jamming. Oh, please, go ahead. Oh, yes, there it is. And then they go through, and then we're all trying to get through the little doorway again. We make it through the doorway. We get onto the train. The train is beautiful. It's like first class. There's little chocolates and it was just like bizarro. We went from hell to heaven in 20 steps. It was incredible. We make it to Sevilla. It's 107 degrees in Sevilla. And Karina gets sick. That's 2 down. Next country. We head towards Portugal. Portugal is supposed to have the amazing. We went online and we saw the website for the place, and it was like a woman doing yoga in front of a pool. And they advertised that it was 5 minutes away from the beach, and an organic garden was there. And we're like, finally, we are going to land somewhere where we can be for a solid 5 days. And it's like Santa Cruz got transplanted to Portugal. So we arrived there, nothing like what it advertised. Nothing like what it advertised. We are up in the room, and when we're there, at this point in time, Karina declares her independence from PC, from being politically correct. She just loses it. She's like, the friggin' organic garden is 40 miles away. There is no pool, there is no yoga unless we pay a bunch of money. They'll bring a yoga teacher in here. The beach is 20 miles away, and I'm starting to crack up. I'm just like, you go, girl. She says to me, why are you laughing? I'm saying, because truth is being spoken in the space. You know what I'm saying? There's something about just speaking truth that just opens up something. So I go ahead, what else you got? Karina's like, these little tiny elevators, I'm claustrophobic, every elevator is this small, I haven't eaten anything except for ham and cheese sandwich for the last 5 days, this is stupid. And I'm like, yes, I agree 100%. At that point, we declared emancipation from our vacation. We bought tickets, we came home the next day. We surrender. We spiritually surrender, we give it up. We declared our independence from our vacation, and we are home in Santa Cruz, where everybody else comes to vacation. With all of you. So nice to declare independence and release. You know what I'm saying? When I say declare independence, you know what I'm talking about here, right? Like there's a releasing, there's a letting go of something that was riding with us that we can declare independence from. And for many, many years, we had to declare independence from things like states or countries. So our founding fathers wrote the Constitution, declared independence from something, and our founding fathers were not like, oh, we're all on the same page. They weren't aligned. They weren't together. They had inner arguments, and one person was fighting for the South, another one wanted the North to do well. They were coming from different areas. I mean, they would go at it in community, in connection. But they put their small ego needs aside for something larger. They said, I'm going to put my stuff down here because there is a larger group that I'm going to attend to because I have heart space, because I care about something bigger than me and mine. You with me here? And so they all got together and they created this document and they declared their independence, and we got to shift something dramatic. With me? Times have changed. We are now in a space and in a place where we get to declare our independence from our own stuff. That we have new technology, a new way of doing prayer work, a new way of transforming and shifting our consciousness so that we can declare independence from stuff that's been holding us back. You with me here? That's huge. That's transformational. If they had back then what we had right now, totally different world. So what I'm proposing to you is that today we do some work. That we figure out what is it that we want to declare our independence from. That's inside of you. What is that fear? What is that judgment of yourself or somebody else? What is that way of being that has been riding with you that you're like, I'm done. No longer mine. I spiritually surrender. I offer this up for transformation and change. This is no longer my stuff. That's the power that we hold now. You want the good news or the bad news? Good news? All right. So the good news is that when we actually set that intention, I am going to be releasing something. I am going to be letting it go. I'm going to be stepping into a new way of being. The good news is that sets something in motion. That your consciousness, that your spirit, that your soul says, all right, you are setting deep intent. I am on board. I will travel with you. I will flow with you. We will go somewhere together. That's the good news. Ready for the bad news? The bad news is whatever is between you and the fulfillment of that intention will rise up and rear its ugly head for you. Whatever the wound is, whatever the angst is, whatever the feeling is that is between you and that transformation, as soon as you set this in motion, it'll say hello. And you'll get a chance to feel. You'll get a chance to move through that energy of that emotion bubbling up through your body, through your heart, through your soul. I've taken thousands and thousands of people through that transformational journey. I consider it to be blessed work, to be sacred work. And my invitation for you today is to start that journey, is to set that intent. Are you up for that? I couldn't quite hear you. Are you up for that? Yes. Great. Because you're going to do it right now with a partner. The person sitting right beside you is going to be the one that you are going to start setting that deep intent with. And then we'll just see what happens. Because there's a little bit of a let go. Raise your hand if you know what I mean when I say there's a little bit of a let go once you set this intent. Yeah, there's a little bit of a let go, and let's just see what happens. When I set this thing in motion, there is a surrender to whatever it is that wants to emerge, whatever wants to come up, whatever wants to shift inside of you, we're saying yes to. Yeah? All right, so with your partner, you are going to just whisper to them what it is that you're going to be letting go of. What is the fear or the judgment or the way that you're playing small? And what is it that you're going to be stepping into? And that thing that you're going to be stepping into probably is a spiritual quality. More love, more openness, more joy, more expression, more abundance, more prosperity. There's probably something inside of you that is ready to step forward, step out, make a new expression into the world, and you're going to name that with your partner. Deal? Deal? Great. So what are you going to let go of? What are you going to step into? Just 20 seconds each. Go ahead, find your partner, and whisper to them. Switch if you haven't switched. And bring your awareness back up to the front. Wrap it up. Bring your awareness back up to the front, please. If you can see me, point at me and say, he's up there. If you can see me, point at me and say, he's over there. Look over there. Ben's up there. Everybody wants to talk. And stop. Great. Raise your hand if you would like to support your partner in whatever it is that they said to you. If you're a good for supporting your partner, great. Give your partner a round of applause right now just for setting something in motion. And if there's anybody, we'll take like maybe two. If there's anybody who has a burning desire to state it publicly, because something happens when you state it publicly. If there's anybody who has a burning desire to state it publicly, what you are letting go of or what you're stepping into, we'll take two. If there are two brave souls who would like to do that, raise your hand. Yeah, go ahead. Stand up and tell us. Tamanta, yeah.
Anger.
Letting go of anger.
And joy.
And stepping into joy. Give them a round of applause. Thank you, sir. And one more. Yes, go ahead.
I'm willing to let go of blame.
Mm-hmm.
I want to bring in my own power.
Yeah, can you stand up again and say, I'm standing in power?
I'm standing in power.
Yeah? Yeah. So now you've done it. Now you've set that thing in motion. You started something. You said yes to something. Something that is larger than you, something that is bigger than what your small self can hold. So now we just get to get present. So whatever it is that shows up, whatever it is that moves inside of your body, whatever emotions come up, however your body wants to move, shake, and shimmer, as you're moving through this transformation, we just let it happen. I'll give you two tips here. Ow! I'll give you two tips here. My first tip is it really helps doing this in relationship, in community. That if you can get with your fellow people, that if you can share with them what you shared with your partner today, if they can hold you in that space and be with you as whatever it is that comes up, something magical and mystical can happen. Whew. Some of you, it's already coming up. I can feel it. So that's the first tip, that if you can do this in relationship, in connection, it seems to help. Second tip, many of you have learned how to pray through Inner Light classes. Raise your hand if you have learned how to pray through Inner Light classes. Okay, about 80%. If you can bring your prayer to this, it deepens the work. If you can include this action, whatever this is, in your prayer, it'll deepen whatever it is that's happened. Now, some of you had trouble figuring out what is it even that I want to let go of. Like there's a deepening of self-exploration that wants to happen. So we've got a program coming up on July 10th. I will be acting out and embodying the 9 personality types on the Enneagram. It is a fun night. I ham it up. Raise your hand if you've ever seen me ham it up. Because it is a wild ride through the 9 types on through the 9 types on the Enneagram. We'll do the de-evolved version before transformation. We'll do the post-evolved version after transformation for each of the types. So you get to explore. You get to ask me a bunch of probing questions, and I'll just like rip it open for you. All right? So if you want to come, please come out there after services and register with me. We'll get you set up for that. It is next Monday, July 10th. Next Monday, July 10th. 7 to 9. 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Welcome to the rest of your life. As you set something like this in motion, your life can dramatically change. As we do our spiritual and our emotional work, we usually see 2 things: more laughter, more tears, more joy, more heartbreak. So I invite you into that. I invite you into that exploration, into that transformation, into that shift, into that raising of consciousness. Thank you.